I'm Jenna.
And I'm Mark. Thanks to everyone so much for tuning in, not just tuning in, but actually being here live with us. We're recording our 100th episode. Jenna, how excited are you right now?
I'm really excited. I can't believe this is the 100th episode of Cincinnati Zoo Tales. We've been doing this for a few years now, so we wanted to try something different for our 100th episode. And that is to have some of our listeners join us and be guests on the show rather than employees or the people that we typically would interview. And we wanted to thank you guys for being listeners.
Definitely. We're really excited to have you here. It's just kind of strange, honestly. I'm a little thrown off because we're used to recording in our conference room in the Africa department, which it doesn't have any windows. So we're out in the open right now. We're in Vine Street Village.
There's a lot of distractions.
A lot of distractions. I'm going to be distracted
audience.
This whole episode. I'm going to
now everyone gets to see how ridiculous we actually are. Oh man, we should have invited the rats. That would be really distracting.
That would have been a game changer for sure.
But so we wanted to discuss some of our favorite moments. I wanted to know, looking back, what was one of your favorite episodes we recorded?
So my favorite episode we've probably ever done was pretty early on in the podcast when we interviewed Dr. Roth. Dr. Terry Roth from Crew. So I think I even maybe mentioned it in the episode. That's probably been 2 years now. I don't remember exactly, but I had mentioned Dr. Roth was someone that I had read her book. I had really looked up to her growing up coming in the field. So it was really special to actually be able to talk to her and interview her, a full circle moment for me.
Right,
sure.
Yeah, she's an amazing person, an amazing scientist, done so many things for reproductive conservation.
She's a legend.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, what about you? Do you have a favorite episode, favorite moment, anything like that?
I have a lot that I was thinking back on, but I think that the one that stood out to me was Gary Densler. I think I laughed more during that episode than, we laugh a lot in our episodes, but he is the best storyteller ever. And I think all the time about having him come back because he's just so good at that. And I'm sure he has a million more stories. So that was one of my favorite. And then I always love the Crew episodes. Mm-hmm. I'm honestly blown away every time. I still don't understand what they do after talking to them for an hour straight, but they're very impressive, and I love the Crew episodes too.
Definitely, yeah. Gary's incredible though, just because he had so much institutional knowledge from working at the zoo for so long, right? So he knows stuff that happens at the zoo, and he has stories to tell that no one else does, and it's special talking to him for sure.
He was here for what, 50 years?
Something like that,
wild.
Over 50 years. It's incredible. I think they said he was the second longest tenured zoo employee ever, which is hard to believe. That's wild.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. And then I just love learning about what people are doing around the zoo that I feel like I should know, but I didn't know, and so we actually had them on the show, and all the laughs we have, and getting to know people that we didn't know unless they came on the show.
Definitely. So. Yeah, it's a big organization. There's so many branches throughout the Cincinnati Zoo. You can't keep track of everything, right? So unless we actually interview people and talk to them, that's when they can really share their stories, and we can learn about it as well. Something I wanted to ask you, we have been lucky enough over the years to have some live animals come in and record with us. Do you have a favorite memory of someone that came and visited us while we recorded?
Well, this episode hasn't aired
yet.
That's
my favorite too. That's my favorite. We're teasing it right now, but we had some rat friends come and join us.
Yes, they were so fun.
Yeah, from Bird Show, from Wings of Wonder Show, and it was incredible. We had a blast.
Yes, it's always fun when animals are there, but it's very distracting. We also had Remus.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. We've had some insects.
I would say we had the hissing cockroaches. We also had American burying beetles.
Yes.
Yes.
Blue death feigning beetles. Did they come with April?
Yeah, with insect team as well.
Or did I make that up? I might have made that up.
I think we had moose come in once too, didn't we?
I don't know.
Or I might be making up moose. I
know
we had Remus. I think we had moose too.
But yes, we love when the animals join us.
Definitely.
But I'm really excited. We have 2 guests here that are members. We see them all the time. They are listeners. We're very grateful for that. So would you ladies like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Terry Hausler.
And how long have you been coming to the zoo?
I think I probably became a member when Fiona was born.
Okay, so Fiona drew you in.
Yeah, I did come with my kids before that, but not very often.
Okay.
So ever since Fiona, I've become a regular.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Do you have a favorite episode or a favorite animal that you like to come see at the zoo other than Fiona?
Red pandas used to be my favorite. It varies, depending on what babies are born.
Yeah. Babies always are the winners, I feel like.
Yes.
The red pandas are pretty special, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you have a favorite episode over the years that you've listened to?
The one that comes to mind that made me laugh so much was that octopus.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the Wild
yeah.
Side of
The
Love.
Wild
yeah.
Side of Love episode. We had a blast with that one.
was-
Yeah.
yes, that just was so funny.
That was one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
We had a blast.
Learned
yeah.
a lot, and it was wild information.
Yes, it was.
Definitely. We have another guest with us here. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Judith Lamb, and I'm a member. I've been a member for quite a while and used to come when Catherine Hilker did the cheetahs
Oh, amazing.
yeah, it would be
Yeah.
amazing to have her on sometime.
back then.
Definitely. Yeah.
And when I went to the art school, I used to come here and draw too.
Oh, awesome. So do you have a favorite animal you'd like to see when you come?
Again, when there's babies, that's it.
It's
Yeah.
always
The-
exciting.
The hippos are the first thing that I usually go to when I
Okay.
come. So,
Do you have any others that after you see the hippos that you usually go to?
I like the Kias too.
Oh,
the
yeah, the
Kias.
Kias.
They're a hidden gem.
Yes,
a lot of
they
people
are.
don't realize
Yeah.
how special the Kias are. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Sammy, little Sam.
Oh,
the
yeah.
bird, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Do you have any favorite episodes?
Well, I like when you have people on that work at the zoo that you don't normally know about their jobs.
Okay, yes, I like those too. That's good to know. We want to hear more what you guys want to hear about.
Yes.
Okay, well, do you have anything else before we get started?
I say we jump into trivia if you're up for it. You know this is my favorite part
You
of
can
every
work as
episode.
a team. So today's trivia is going to be based on past episodes. We won't clearly judge you if you don't remember because I can't remember anything. So no pressure, it's just for fun. So the first question is, do you know what the very first Cincinnati Zoo Tales episode was about?
Way back at the beginning. So we're talking, what, 3 years ago now? Close to 4 years ago, I guess.
Yes.
And I'll give you a hint if you need one. It's an animal that's extremely popular at the zoo.
Well, must be Fiona.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we decided we wanted to draw listeners in with Fiona, of course, for the first episode when this podcast was brand new and nobody knew about it. But I was like, I've told Fiona's story 1,000,000 times to other interviewers, to, different podcasts, news channels, whatever. So I wanted to put a spin on it. So our first episode was with Chad Yellen, our VP of marketing, and he told us about how the story of Fiona affected him and the zoo and how it was different than any other, animal we've ever had born here. Because in the past, we didn't typically share when we had a birth until the baby was thriving and doing well, and we knew they would survive because we didn't want to share sad news for no reason. It wasn't like we were trying to hide anything. But with Fiona, we were incredibly transparent. And so Chad told us a little bit about his journey with that and how the marketing team was involved and just how Fiona changed a lot of things with how a lot of zoos work in their marketing departments.
Definitely, and that was just an interesting spin on it because obviously we are familiar with the animal side of it perspective, but getting kind of the PR marketing side of it was a whole new world that was so interesting to me to learn about. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first episode was about Fiona. Okay, number 2. Last year, we did 3 not-so-spooky episodes throughout October, highlighting 3 types of animals that a lot of people are spooked or creeped out by. The goal of this was to bring attention to these amazing creatures and share all the reasons you do not need to be afraid of them. Do you remember which 3 types of animals we talked about throughout October?
Say bats has got to be one of them. I would think
Bats? I'll let you guys guess and then I'll tell you yes or
Okay.
no.
Some kind of bug, maybe.
I know.
Scorpions? No?
Snakes.
Spiders?
Snakes. I can't remember.
Snakes? Komodo dragon?
You're on the right track with a
Final
few
three.
of
Let's
these.
just name every animal.
Do you want to settle on 3?
You're on the right track with a few of them.
It has to be bad.
Bat. I'd say that spiders or snakes or Komodo.
Oh wow.
I'll let you know you have 2 of the 3 correct.
2 out of 3.
Oh. Did we say spiders? Did you say
I said spiders.
That is correct.
Spiders is a good
Spiders.
one.
Is bat one of them?
It is not. We did ask.
okay.
We want to learn about the vampire bats, but we didn't have anyone available to speak to us about them. So
Couldn't
they
figure
are
the
on our
scheduling
list.
out.
Komodo dragon?
Not Komodo dragon, but that's a good
Gotta
one.
be snakes.
Snakes.
Snakes and spiders and
Something Mark and I take care of.
Yep. In the Africa savannah.
Oh.
The vultures?
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah,
You got
so last year, our 3 spooky episodes were about snakes, spiders, and vultures, and it's my favorite time of year, and we're starting to record those episodes
Yeah.
now, so I'm very excited to start those.
Be
again.
ready, because the not so spooky episodes are coming back for Halloween time. So.
Okay, number 3. We are so proud to be a part of a few release programs here at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden. The Manatee Rehab and Release Program is likely the most well-known animal that we release. What is the smallest animal we have a release program for? And we have talked about them on the podcast.
Okay. Dead space.
Cats.
Not cats.
Not cats.
They're very small. They could fit in the palm of your hand.
Some kind of bug, beetle.
Yes. Do you know what kind?
I'm just thinking. No, dung beetle. I know it's not that.
So we've got a bunch of different beetles in an
Yeah.
insect house to choose from, but it's the American burying beetle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mandy Pritchard on. She
yes.
told us they do amazing work where they release a bunch of beetles. They also collect them each year, and they are an endangered beetle. So it's really important that we have this release program.
Definitely.
Okay, number 4. During one of my favorite episodes, we talked with Dr. Jess, who she's one of my favorite guests to have on
Yes,
the
she's a lot
podcast
of
as
fun.
well. She's very good at teaching and educating. So during one of my favorite episodes, we talked with Dr. Jess about a life-saving blood transfusion for one of our resident animals. Which animal was that? They are a nocturnal species.
Aardvark?
Yes,
Yeah.
Allie the aardvark.
Allie,
That was awesome.
That was an amazing episode, amazing story, everything the vet team did and the Night Hunters team did to work with her. But she needed a life-saving blood transfusion, and we were able to get a blood donation from an aardvark at the Columbus Zoo, and they helped save Allie's life.
Incredible situation, because that's just something that I don't think a lot of vet teams would really attempt or try, and it was risky, but they took the risk and it paid off for Allie. Yeah, incredible story.
All right, our final question. Speaking of our amazing vet staff, what ocean animal did the whole veterinary team help the Newport Aquarium do physicals on recently?
Stingrays?
Yes.
Stingrays,
Yay,
nice.
Good job.
You two are killing it. Yeah,
So
great
our
job.
whole team, vet techs, all 3 of our vets, I think I might have made that part up. A lot of the vet team went, I'm sure it was somebody's off day, and they helped the Newport Aquarium do physicals on all of their stingrays.
Stingray
So it was
roundup,
like
yeah.
a full day of physicals. So
Yeah.
pretty cool that they were able to help with that. All right. That is all I have for you guys. So you're off the hook.
You were amazing. Yeah, that was
Yes,
great.
good job.
That was great. They were
Again.
nervous coming up here to answer questions, but you all did great.
Thank you for listening. We do have a few questions, though. If you don't have an answer, that's fine. But we just wanted to know if you have any what can I do's that you've implemented from listening to the episode, or if you have anything you do at home, or if there's anything you want to hear about for future episodes.
Well, I certainly look at the ingredients about palm oil.
Yay,
So
that's
Great.
awesome.
Yeah, great.
That's a good one. And a lot of people don't know about that. And Mark just realized there's an app for it,
Yeah, I
which
just
makes it
learned
really
about the app,
easy.
yeah.
So you can
Yeah, I
scan
think I
things,
have
the
that on my
barcode.
phone,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great. Awesome. Do you guys have anything else? I don't want to put you on the spot.
I know,
so
when I'm on the spot, I
Yeah.
can't think of it.
That's always how it goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You. Well, we want to thank you so much for
Oh,
joining
thank
us.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Thanks
thank you
for
for
listening.
listening.
Thanks for
Thank
listening.
you.
100.
Thanks
Oh,
for
thank
being
you. Thank you.
big zoo guests that come all the time and helping us out and listening to the podcast. So
Yeah.
have a good one.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So we've got 2 new guests coming in to join us for some questions and just to tell us a little bit about themselves. Would each of you care to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about how long you've been coming to Cincinnati, or in this case, working at Cincinnati Zoo. We're being joined by one of our amazing SSA staff.
Yeah. So my name is Keisha. I've been with SSA for about, I don't know, it's been a long time.
A long time.
2 years full time.
Okay.
2 years full time. I'm assistant warehouse manager. And I was part-time before. I was a teacher and got a little hectic, so I came. And what got me to come full-time was I went on a tour at Crew.
Oh, amazing. So they inspired you.
It was
to-
just so amazing. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize this happens.
Right.
And I was just like amazing. They were like, I was like, this is it. That's it. Yep.
I've worked here for 15 years, and I'm still like, I can't believe this happens. Like every time I interview a crew person.
It was just on like, you want to come? Like, yeah, I'm going to tour. I was just like, oh wow, like this is amazing. It changed my whole perspective of the zoo and nature and everything. So
That's awesome to hear. Do you have a favorite animal here that you like to visit?
giraffes.
Okay.
Giraffes are
We
my
love the
favorite.
giraffes.
And I did have a behind the scenes with the giraffes.
Oh, good.
So, yes, it's my favorite.
The giraffes are a ton of fun.
Good to
That's
hear.
great. What about you? Would you care to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Cindy Miller. I was a member when my kids were little. My son's 39, and when they started school, I stopped being a member because I was room mother and that. So I came when they would come up for their field trips and that, and then I rejoined when Fiona was born.
Okay. Fiona's bringing people in.
And I was shocked at the difference of the zoo from back then until when Fiona,
Changed so much.
the
Yeah.
entryway and the solar panels and all that, it was like a different zoo.
And they continue to make improvements and make everything better. And actually, next year, on September 18th, the day this episode is airing, will be the 150th anniversary of the zoo, which is incredible.
Second oldest zoo in the country,
Yes.
150 years, 149 now, 150
Right,
next
in
year. It's
2025.
going to be incredible. I'm sure we'll do something really fun to celebrate 150 years next year. That's awesome. So is Fiona your favorite animal, would you say?
The bonobos.
Oh, I like that.
I cried in Kroger's when Amali passed away.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So tough for their team.
Bo was a crack up.
They're
Yeah.
very interesting animals
Yes.
for sure.
They're mischievous. They're always up to something. Oh man, well, thanks for sharing that stuff with us. I do have some trivia for you. We've got 5 questions lined up today based on some of our past episodes that we've recorded. You can collaborate on the questions, work together to answer some of these. And if you don't know, just guess. Guessing's always the funnest part.
Really great at guessing, especially years.
So for our first question, we've got, throughout the time of our podcast, we've talked to a lot of our conservation partners around the world. Can you name 2 of the organizations or just the animals that the Cincinnati Zoo helps support around the globe?
I know you do the sloths.
The sloths, perfect.
In
There's
Costa
one.
Rica,
Yep.
yes.
With the Sloth Institute, you got it.
And
Rhinos?
We do a lot of work with rhinos at Crew,
We support.
but
We support International Rhino Foundation.
yeah, IRF,
Yes.
yeah.
And I'm sure there are more actually with rhinos that we help through. Just for example, the Uganda Conservation Foundation is an organization we support through our hippo tours, and those are rangers out there patrolling the waterways, but they're going to protect and ward off any poachers. Yeah. So I'm drawing a blank with rhinos, but I know International Rhino Foundation for sure.
For sure.
so is that a no or a yes? on that?
So yes, you got 2, yes,
Got
yes.
to, for sure. Nailed it.
Do you have any more guesses before I tell you some?
I was
Do you have
gonna
any
say
more guesses?
hippos, but
Yes, we do.
Uganda Conservation, yeah, that's another one that supports the hippos. Yep.
I'm gonna guess maybe giraffes.
Yes.
Giraffe.
Wild Nature Institute.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And then just some of the others that we've talked about on our podcast before, and we still support our Soralo, which is in Kenya, and that's kind of a land management area, which we've had the whole team come on and talk to us about that. We had a big crew.
Yes, I
Yeah.
actually got to go to Kenya
Yeah.
and speak to the people that are working with Soralo and help them come up with solutions to help
and I
save
should know that
wildlife.
we have Soralo product.
Yeah, the
shop.
beaded bracelets, exactly.
And then we also support conservation initiatives, which is a network in India that helps with Asian elephants. Dr. Divya and Dr. Varun came on and talked to us about them. ICAS in South America with giant anteaters and armadillos. Dr. Arnaud came and talked to us about them. And then also U.S. Fish and Wildlife. We collaborate with them for our wolf conservation. And Maggie Dwyer from U.S. Fish and Wildlife came and talked to us about them. So.
And those are the ones we've talked to. There are
Yeah,
like
there's plenty
1
that we haven't
million
talked
more
about.
that the zoo supports, and it's always incredible to realize how many we actually do support.
But we've got to keep some so that we have more content
Right.
to create, right? We can't talk about all of them, right? We'll get there, but over time. All right, thank you guys nailed that one. Next question we've got up. So Renee, who's a keeper at the Veldt, she joined us to teach us about okapis and talk about our okapi calf that we have here at the zoo. This was my most interesting fact from the episode about okapis. How long does it take a baby okapi before it defecates for the first time? So the babies will not
I was
defecate.
blown away by
I was
this.
blown away by this too. The babies will not defecate so that they don't give their scent away to any predators or anything. So how long do they go before they defecate for the first time?
No idea.
No idea.
3 months.
Those just educated guesses.
Educated guesses.
I'm gonna guess 3 months.
3 months. We're spot on.
nailed
Yeah, spot on. Sometime between 2 and 3 months. They say about 6 to 10 weeks it takes before the okapi calf uses the restroom for the first time, which is wild to me. I couldn't believe it. I thought Renee was messing with us when she first told us, and I was like, no, she's being for real.
Is it a lot?
Oh, man.
Oh, that's a good question.
She said it's got a very particular odor to it.
You've been holding in for 3 months.
That's incredible. All right, next up, so we had one of our horticulture team members, Steve Foltz, on to talk to us about the amazing work that our horticulture team does throughout the zoo. If you walk through the zoo, you see all the botanical gardens, the flowers, the trees. It's beautiful around here. So our horticulture team, shout out. They do amazing work. So Steve Foltz talked to us particularly about the tulips that we grow in the gardens during the spring. I'm sure everyone who's been to the zoo during the spring can't miss the tulips. How many tulip bulbs does the horticulture team plant every single year? It's a lot.
It's
I know
a
it's
lot.
a lot.
It's a lot. Is it? I even see them bringing them in like in the warehouse down here.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Just, I'm like, oh my God, it's a lot. Is it like? Because I know the squirrels eat some too, so they got a plan for extra.
Yep. You got it.
20,000?
I'm gonna say 100,000.
20. If you just add those two together, we got it. That's perfect. Good collaboration there. Yeah, about 120,000 tulip
Wow.
bulbs every single year. which-
That's crazy.
That's an undertaking right there.
That's a lot.
It shows because when you walk through this place in the springtime, it's beautiful. Yeah. All right, we nailed it. Next up, we've got Eddie from our Wings of Wonder show. He came onto the show to talk about some of the amazing birds that he works with. One of the most incredible birds that they work with is our famous bald eagle here at the zoo. Our bald eagle has flown at Reds games before. He's been all around the park and in the shows. Do you know the name of our bald eagle, who just retired this year, actually? Just
Oh my
retired
gosh,
from
a
going
bunch
to
of
Reds
us
games.
cried watching
Yeah.
him come out on the field for the last time.
Yeah.
Sam?
Sam! Perfect. We're now 4 for 4 so far.
Okay, well this next question, I can't wait.
All right, Sam, our famous bald eagle. Shout out to Sam, shout out to Eddie. So next up, this is one of Jenna's favorite memories from the podcast. She'll reference this trivia question a lot. I like to get silly with at least one question every episode for trivia. So the last question we've got that stuck with Jenna, I'm sure she'll never forget this stat. How tall is Big Bird?
From Sesame
Big Bird
Street.
from Sesame Street.
7
7
foot.
feet?
7 feet. That's a good guess. You're a little low though. Big Bird should get in the NBA because he's 8 feet 2 inches tall.
Oh my God.
Big Bird.
That's tall.
You guys did a great job.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Now, we mentioned we, end the episodes with a what can I do? Do either of you do anything at home that you're proud of that you know is making a difference, or you listen to an episode and you're like, I had no idea I should do that you've learned, or anything you want us to talk about on a future episode?
Well, you can plant pollinator plants for the bees
Yeah.
and that at home.
Yes, that's so important.
Gardens, yeah.
They're running out of food and places to find food and stop while they're migrating, all sorts of different butterflies and such. So yes, pollinator gardens are so important, and they're fun and make your house or your home or even just a pot out front of an apartment makes it look beautiful. So that's a good one for sure.
Yeah.
I do recycling. That's about it.
Yeah.
Recycle.
Yeah, it's still needed. Every drop in the bucket matters, That's very necessary. What about any ideas for anything you want to hear about on the podcast moving forward? Any future episode ideas or anything? I know you're on the spot right now. It's hard to come
Yeah,
up with
I
something.
think of that stuff at home sometimes. Like when you guys are. No. I do have an idea of something I'd like to see here. At some of the zoos, like at the bonobos, they'll have a picture of the bonobo, the name, how we have it in the gorilla world.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll have what that bonobo, like a personality trait.
Yeah.
An easy or cheaper way would have a TV monitor so that if a bonobo leaves or comes in, it would be a lot easier to change it that way versus a wooden thing.
That's a
That's a great idea. We
That's
have
a-
that recorded now, so we can make sure that's passed on.
Even a of your other place. But since the bonobos are my favorite, that's why I say them. But if you got some of the other exhibits where you have a lot of animals, then it's hard to tell one from another.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just like fun. I just like learning fun facts about the animal.
Yes, and like personality quirks and
Fun facts, like because when I went on a tour for the hippos, you gave like a lot of facts, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, interesting.
That's part of our favorite part of the job, right? Is being able to share that stuff, because we're lucky to be in the position that we're in, and it's fun to be able to share that with other people. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Hopefully it wasn't too painful.
For sure.
It was fun. It was fun.
Have a great day.
You as well.
All right, we are back for our third round with two new guests. Will you ladies please introduce yourselves?
My name is Megan.
How long have you been at the zoo? You work here. Will you tell everyone your position? And
I'm a face painter at the zoo.
Okay, great.
I just started at the end of March, early April. Or I'm sorry, I just moved here at the end of March, early April. And then I started in May, June.
Okay. Awesome. Do you like it here so far? Yeah. Good.
And we see all the time kids coming through with just the most amazing artwork on their tigers and butterflies. It's all incredible. It's incredible
creative
work.
for sure.
Did you like go to school for art, or how did you
In
get
high
into these
school
things?
I did graphic design and I won a art scholarship through art and everything, but actually I have a bachelor's in early childhood, so that's what I went to school for.
It's a perfect compliment for both of them. Yeah.
Yes.
So Megan's that awesome person you see out waving and just like cheering kids on for the day. So she's super wonderful and so creative. So we're very lucky to have her. But yeah, so she just started at the zoo, but before being at the zoo, she lived in Florida where she listened to the podcast too. So isn't that like so crazy to think about?
Yeah. So have you been to the zoo before, or what?
Yeah, so
What?
my family actually lives here, so I've been here multiple times. Yeah, before, but I was a preschool teacher in Florida, so like how all my kids know about Fiona, they know about Fred.
Let's go.
But I showed them videos of the penguins marching, so I tell them all about it. I read them the books and the Fiona song, they all know it. So.
Oh, that's great.
It's like such a small world, right? Yeah. It's cool
Do
to
you
see
have a
it.
favorite episode?
No, I've only gotten to show snippets in my classroom, so we never got to watch like a full or listen to a full episode. I would just pick out little bits, like sound bits for the kids to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that we're helping educate
I know.
kids.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
It's news to me. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Thanks, Megan.
I know sometimes I'm like, is it mostly our employees that listen because we just want to know more about everything? But then I'm like, wow, yeah, there's a huge following. So
You know
it's so
what's
cool to
interesting
hear.
though is that a lot of our guests actually have never listened before when they show up on the podcast, and they always feel guilty. And I'm like, you don't have to feel guilty. We're just curious if you know how it goes. But I do wonder like how many of the employees listen?
Yeah, what the balance is on the listenership. Yeah, definitely. So since you're in your time at the zoo, do you have a favorite animal or like a favorite habitat that you really like to go visit?
I love the sloths and obviously Fiona and Fritz. I do love going to see BB and all them. My mom's obsessed with the giraffes, so we're over there a lot too.
Nice. Awesome. Love to go
Yeah.
And what about you? Will you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, so I'm Jen. I'm also a zoo employee, so I work on our visitor experience team. I've been here for about 2 years, so I just love every day is different, and there's always animal excitement, but also different visitor excitement coming in. We were just talking to someone over at the map here with Robin, one of our volunteers, and they were from Oklahoma. So it's like crazy to see like people travel in and just like not sure how to unlock the day and be able to kind of like help guide them on it.
Oh yeah, that is
So-
fun. You can help give all the pointers and like tell them the little hidden gems we have around here.
Yeah, and like with all of our pathways, like the zoo's very like woven together. So to be like, oh, you know, as you're walking there, like kind of keep out for this pathway on the left so you can see our red pandas, which is one of, I think, my favorite animals, especially during winter, because they're, I mean, just like hilarious.
They play
of
around in the
course.
snow. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
prancing around. Nothing slows them down.
Exactly. Yeah, and I like our gibbons too because you can hear them in the morning, and it's just like
They're so loud
I
sometimes. And the cranes over here.
Yeah, I think the first like 6 months I worked here, I literally thought it was just like an audio track that was playing. And then one day someone was like, no, that's like literally the gibbons. And I was like mind blown. So.
That never gets old hearing them. It is nice having them in the center of the zoo to hear that, but we'll see how long they stick around there.
I know, with elephant truck coming up, we're like, how will we know it's morning? Like the gibbons won't be here to tell us. Or the elephants, like with their trumpets in the morning too. So.
Have you listened to any of the episodes?
I have listened to
Okay.
some of the episodes in the
Awesome.
past, but yeah, it's crazy to hear everything that everyone's doing around here. There's so
Yeah, we're always learning so much about things happening in the same place that we work, and I didn't know around
Yeah.
I know.
here.
I learned a bunch of stuff yesterday about like future plans. Somebody was telling me, and I was like, I didn't know. All that.
Right.
yeah.
There's a lot going on at all times.
Here, so it's hard to keep up with all of it for sure.
Well, if you guys are ready, I will ask you 5 questions. Again, it's just for fun. You can guess if you would like. But number 1, occasionally Mark and I share some of our personal preferences. We've mentioned this before, and you might just know this if you know Mark at all, but is Mark a cat or a dog person?
I'm gonna
The
guess.
age-old dilemma.
Yeah.
person.
I was getting cat vibes too.
Huge cat person. Huge cat person.
And now I want to know where they got the vibes from, like, how they can tell.
Well, I might just have to get my face painted next time.
Oh,
I'll just be a tiger. Yeah, I can be a
Yes,
tiger.
actually, let's do that next.
Just to give off the vibes so there's no mistake. But
Right?
Huge cat person. I've got 2 babies at home. Shout out to Tim and Olive. They're my perfect angels. Yeah.
He takes just one of them, right? On walks?
On a stroller
Yeah.
walks, yeah. Tim doesn't like the stroller, but Olive loves her walks. Yeah, she has a great time.
That's great enrichment, enriching animals at work and just
That's right.
carrying
And at
that
home,
same
right?
passion home. Yep.
Right?
Wow.
Okay, this is a hippo-related question. Of our 4 hippos, which is the most likely to spend hours playing with a toy?
I'm gonna guess Tucker or Fritz, maybe.
Okay.
I've definitely seen Fritz with his log.
Yeah.
So
Yes, the
It's
answer
Fritz.
is definitely Fritz.
Yeah, you got it.
Especially in the winter when they're inside more, we can give them more of the toys that people don't see on Habitat because those toys would scratch the glass and make your view not as clear. So we give the toys inside, and Fritz sometimes will just play in there for hours. Like, I'll have the other hippos all eating breakfast, and he takes 45 minutes to come up and finally eat, like give up his toy and eat. So Fritz loves toys for sure.
It's nonstop too. It's incredible
yes.
to watch because like he just doesn't slow down. He's got so much energy.
And I can't lift half of these toys, and he'll push them up almost like a dolphin. If you ever seen like a show where they put a ball in their nose, he like lifts the toys up. He's very impressive. And he will use the logs out on Habitat like toys. So
Are those
it's
ones he
natural
just
enrichment.
finds in there, or do you guys like creatively place it?
We provide the ones that are like dead logs that we have that will float, and the bark or the tree itself is a little bit softer so that it can't damage anything, but gives them something to play with.
Yeah,
So.
it's adorable.
Yes. Okay, so this is a big deal that just happened at the zoo, something that our aviculture team, our bird team, should be really proud of, and I believe that they are. So the aviculture team at the Cincinnati Zoo recently participated in an incredible breeding and release program of an animal that is extinct in the wild. What type of animal is this?
Ooh, I don't know.
So
Do you know?
hint is
It
it's a
was
bird.
the bird. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's like Sinek or Sinek.
You're super
yes.
close. You're super close.
It's sea heck, or
Sea heck,
also
okay.
known as a kingfisher.
Okay. Guam kingfisher.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, that's incredible.
A huge deal because, like I said, they were extinct in the wild, and our zoo, I believe, released 4 birds onto a new island, and we've done an episode with Amy Owen on that, and there's blogs and such where it can all be explained better to our listeners. But it's an incredible thing to have those birds breed and then incubate the eggs to have surviving chicks and have them sent to a whole nother country. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be able to have sea hecks in the wild again at some point.
Yeah, and shout out to Bird Team because I don't remember the exact numbers on it, but I'm pretty sure it was like there were only 10 released,
I think
and
9.
4 of them, 4 of them were from here at Cincinnati Zoo, which like we're providing, almost half of the Guam kingfishers now in the wild. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, shout out to Bird Team for sure.
Okay. We cannot wait for our newest habitat, elephant track, to finally be open to our visitors.
So soon.
yes, oh maybe, we'll see.
It's taking time. It's taking time. It's getting there.
We keep the hope alive here at the zoo. That is definitely for sure.
So we have 4 new elephants that joined us from what zoo?
I know one of them just came back from Columbus.
Yes.
But he was here before.
That was Sabu, and yes, he is a very genetically valuable male who was sent to Columbus to breed, and he has.
You got two of them,
Yes,
yeah.
now Columbus is
It's
expecting
amazing.
2 calves that Sabu will be the father of. But that is not what I'm talking about, though he is recently back. So I get where you're coming from. But
I
these,
think they came from a different country.
Yes,
I
they
believe.
did.
I don't remember which country, but I do remember they were from not around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jen, do you know?
Dublin.
I was gonna say
Dublin.
Dublin.
They
Yeah.
came from the
Sure.
Dublin Zoo.
Yes, we
yeah.
have
You
a
got
little family unit that came to us from the Dublin Zoo with 2 juvenile younger males and 2 adult females, grandmother and then her daughter and then their sons. So very excited for the public to be able to see them hopefully in the next few months.
Yeah, the young bulls I think will add such a fun element to the habitat because similar to Fritz where they just have like this energy, I think we'll get to see like a lot of personality.
I've seen all those videos of them in the water, and they're
I
just
can't
like
even-
Oh,
crazy.
it's so much fun to watch.
And the giant beautiful pool and all the new habitat is just wonderful. So yeah, it'll be really cool to see this new elephant herd.
We're all waiting. I know. We're all
Yes.
waiting. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Okay, you guys have done great. We have one more for you. In one episode, we learned that exceptional plants are plants that will not survive the conditions of seed banking or are short-lived in seed banks. And they have no seeds available to bank. Or they have no seeds available to bank. So I didn't read that very well. But exceptional plants are not easy to keep in a seed bank. What type of exceptional tree is Crew working to preserve using cryopreservation?
So instead of seed banking, they're trying to cryopreserve tissue.
Interesting.
That's so fascinating.
Crazy
yes.
stuff, Crew. Crazy
It's-
stuff.
Megan did such a good job. I was enthralled the whole episode. Again, crew episodes always blow my mind. It's a common tree that, or like you would know the name of this, gets very large, and they are in fact endangered.
Oh, is it oaks?
Yes,
Okay.
good job.
Okay.
Perfect. You got it.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Right, and there's a bunch of different species of oaks or types of oaks, but quite a few of them are endangered. And our scientists at Crew and the plant side of things are trying to figure out a way to preserve them for our future.
Because we have some of the like really old oaks here. I think don't we still have like 6 or 7 that are like over 150 years
kind of scattered
old?
around
Yeah,
grounds.
throughout the zoo,
we
which
got-
provide like the really big canopy
Yeah.
areas. So
Definitely. Well, you guys were incredible. for
Yes.
trivia.
Wow.
That was amazing. Great job.
Nice
Before
work.
you all go, on the show, we like to leave every episode with kind of like a what can I do? Something that, kind of like a take-home message for people at home to do to kind of help conservation in their home life. Do you have anything that you do at home that you could recommend to our listeners or anything like that?
one of the things that I had learned about when I started at the zoo by just talking to some of our other team members was the idea of like if you're going out to eat to bring your own takeout like bags with you. So everyone has like all the containers in your cabinet. So instead of like having to get something styrofoam or another one that you're going to wash and then have a mismatched lid for, just kind of bringing it with you.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think that was one of our What Can I Do's in a really like past episode, and that's such a great reminder because that is something that it's so easy, but I never think to do, and I need, I already have the items.
Seat,
Yes.
put it in a reusable bag,
Yep.
and then it's like
You got it on track. when
Right
you need it,
here,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
actually do that in your life?
yes, I try
Awesome.
to. It's definitely one of those things. Like I use reusable bags as well, but it's very much like okay, now I took them inside. I have to remember to take them back
Yeah,
out
sure,
to the
yeah,
car.
sure.
But yeah,
Awesome, good for you. That's great.
thanks.
Well, one of the things that I love talking about is composting. That was one of the biggest things they did with my preschoolers. We had a big compost bin. So I love talking about composting and, just making an effort to reduce that waste.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's a great one.
Awesome.
I need to get like an actual compost, but for now I just like chuck any old like produce or things like out in the like the
Yard.
woods behind my backyard. Yeah.
Well, one coworker, my old coworker, she used to do that too with pumpkins, and she would throw them out, and she had horses.
Gosh. Now she
and
has a ton of pumpkins.
She had a
doesn't
ton of
she?
pumpkins, she said, and the horses would eat the pumpkins, and then they'd fertilize the seeds, and it would just get to be a mess.
She has her own pumpkin patch. Dreams. Those are my dreams.
And we actually just got a new digester here that got loaded in this week, so that'll be where I think more staff can even bring in your compost.
Yes,
that's
we will
exciting.
hear about that soon in one of our episodes.
Oh man, I'll definitely stay tuned.
Well, are there anything or any episodes or any topics you would like to hear about in the future? Suggestions for us to do?
I think, just like along the sustainability lines of like helping people kind of get more actively involved at home and helping like carry some of the stories we do here, like with our events, how we've reduced waste and looking at more like or better products that you can use in your day-to-day life.
Awesome. Yes, that's coming up
because the
soon.
animal ones
So-
are awesome. But it's cool to see like how much people care about all the things.
And
we
our
do
zoo
here.
does so much in regards to sustainability. It's good to highlight it, for
Yes,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys for taking
It's
the
so
time
fun.
out, and you did a great job. Thanks for
you.
listening.
I love it. It adds such an environment up here, having you guys.
I know,
sit
we should
here
do all of our episodes
know,
up here.
honestly.
Yeah, it's so relaxing.
I'm so excited. Thane Maynard just joined us. Everyone, well, most people probably know you.
Zoo legend.
Yes.
Zoo legend.
You've been around at the zoo for how long?
47 years.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that crazy? My mother dropped me off and never came back to
He was just left here.
Director of the zoo? That doesn't seem like the right title. Is that the title?
That is the
Director?
title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Director
you know, a
of the
lot of
zoo.
zoos sound like businesses. They've got the CEO or the president. But for me, I stuck with zoo director because every kid knows, okay, that guy's the zoo director. First, that guy's the CEO. You're like, I wonder what that means.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good
Like
yeah.
zookeeper. There were people, even in our PR department, they wanted to drop zookeeper. They thought, oh, are you kidding me? Every kid in America wants to be a zookeeper,
Right.
and they want to meet a zookeeper. So
such
we've
a
got
good point.
zookeepers and zoo directors at the Cincinnati Zoo.
Yes, I love it. You always have amazing stories. I know we have a lot going on, a lot of construction right now.
Oh, yeah.
It is the 149th anniversary the day this episode airs.
Oh,
so
gosh, yeah.
Next
Super
year will
exciting.
be 150. Do you know of any plans, any things you hope to see done by this time next year?
Well, I certainly want to thank all our visitors, all our guests, all our members who are extremely forgiving of the fact that we often have a lot of construction going on. And I think because we're not a tourist town, they recognize, because they come regularly, hey, it's progress. You know, versus if you went one time to Disney's Animal Kingdom, you'd say, what? So there's been a long time, you know, with Bear Line, but it's going to be great because next year we'll open sea otters. We've never had those. With a big saltwater exhibit, that's where the polar bears used to be. In our big campaign, More Home to Roam, as the title said, we tried to give animals more space. So there wasn't room for polar bears there, but there will be room for sea otters. So that'll be very fun.
Sea otters are one of my favorite animals
Jenna's
ever,
so excited for that one. Yeah.
I really hope they need my help for some reason.
Well, from the zoo perspective, they're perfect because they're all weather. It doesn't matter how cold or how hot. They have refrigerated water, and they're very active. So what's not to love? We're bringing back bears, a fan favorite, being black bears. Both of those are a neat story because they're going to be orphaned animals from the West Coast. And, you know, there are many black bears there in every state except Hawaii. And sea otters in some areas have very healthy populations, and sometimes the moms get killed. So it should be a great win-win.
Do you have a date people can expect for that? Is that
Regular
a tough
folks
question?
remember the banner that said 23 and 24, now it's 25. So I have the date, which it'll happen in 25. Okay. If I wanted to really think, I hope it'll happen by May, because attendance really gets going at that point.
Yes.
And so that's exciting. And of course, everybody knows elephants are coming. Elephant Trek, our biggest exhibit ever. And that has been a task and a half. It's very big, but going great. And slated to open at the 1st of October. So hopefully all the pieces come together. So I've never seen so many plants planted in one place.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And a fun, really fun exhibit.
So much exciting stuff going on at the zoo for sure. What kind of feeling, you've, like you said, been here for over 40 years. What kind of feeling does it give you to walk through the zoo and see all the changes that have taken place here?
Mark, that's an interesting thing because it is true. We've polished things up. This plaza, this entrance, you know, down the road, there'll be giraffes right behind you. We're going to enlarge that yard and bring up the giraffes where the elephants used to be. But it's funny to look back because it is, in fact, the same zoo. It's on the same 67 acres when Andrew Erkenbrecher and the German immigrants built it. I think our great leap forward was being able to push the cars out and get back, because when the zoo was founded, there weren't any cars, so the whole place was for animals and people. But during the early 20th century, huge percentage, where we are standing right now, they used to park cars. You know, Jungle Trails used to park cars. The Future Elephant, Fiona the hippo. Yeah, there was a car parked there 10 years ago.
Yeah, when I started as an intern.
All those things have really opened it up and given our urban zoo more space. So that's been really, really fun. And with that, more space, you end up with a better care for the animals, better circumstance all around. And it is our responsibility to give them the best life we can. So I think it's a real win-win. I think our guests appreciate that. You know, one of the things I'm surprised by is I'm the guy who thought I discovered that people will only listen on the radio for 90 seconds. And here your program goes like an hour and you've got thousands of listeners.
I think the difference, though, is these days, you know, podcasts you can listen on your way to work. You can turn them on and off. Whereas, like, if you're listening on the radio, you kind of got to get it in quick because they might get out of their car and then they can't
Or
finish
change
the
the
story.
channel. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Well.
And yeah, hopefully we have a lot of listeners. It's hard to know exactly. Maybe we can pull that data soon.
I've heard over 4,000 regularly, so that's a good number and growing.
We're growing. We like to think we're growing, but you know, 90-second naturalist, you've got to have a couple hundred episodes by now. So we've got some catching up to do.
We've been around, that's for sure. But it's easier to do 90 seconds than an hour. But anyway, it's an exciting time at the zoo, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah, lots going on. Well, thank you for stopping
Yeah,
by.
it's
I'm
fun
sure
to
you're
see
busy.
you all, and
yeah.
we'll do it again.
This is
For
fun.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks for
we'll
coming
plan
by.
another episode for you to come talk to us for an hour.
Yeah, then
So
I'd
just
love
tell
to
your
do that.
stories. Just
Yes.
tell, yeah, it's the
We'll
best
do it.
part.
I've got those. Don't forget when you're done, it's staff taco
yes,
day.
I'm a big taco girl.
Nothing works better than free tacos.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
All right, thanks.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
See you all.
Shane. Okay, we are back with our fourth and final round. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. We have two new guests, so if you don't mind, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name is Wendy, and I've been coming to the zoo regularly for the last 3 years. When Fritz was born was when I really started coming weekly.
Oh, Fritz pulled people in this time. It wasn't Fiona, it was Fritz.
it was
Let's go.
Fritz.
Let's go.
Yeah, so, and then before that, when my kids were little, we belonged here.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite other than Fritz?
I'd say Cat Canyon.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, Renji and Zero.
The snow leopards. Oh, man, I love the snows. That's awesome. Love to hear it. Annie, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name's Annie. I work here at the Cincinnati Zoo. I'm our accessibility program manager, so I've been here for roughly 4.5 years. Cincinnati Zoo is not my home zoo. I'm from Colorado, so the Denver Zoo is my home zoo, but I've really come to like own and love the Cincinnati Zoo, so happy to be here. Congrats on your 100th episode.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're excited. Do you have a favorite animal or a favorite habitat you like to visit when you're walking around your zoo doing the rounds?
The meerkats. They're my favorite.
You just made Jenna's day. You just
They are my favorite. I think they're so funny. They have so much personality.
Definitely, and I obviously I love all the animals, and the hippos, of course, are very near and dear to my heart. But the meerkats, I love it when there's to hear other people appreciating them.
Yeah. I don't think they get quite as much attention as a lot of the other animals, so it's nice to kind of be able to shine some light on them, you know?
Yes, we need to do a meerkat episode. Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Yeah, we do have some trivia for you. We've got 5 questions about the podcast, the zoo in general here. Over the years, you know, this is our 100th episode. We're obviously super excited about it. Even though this is the 100th episode, this is actually only my 85th episode. I missed 15 episodes when Jenna had a different original co-host, so we wanted to be able to shout him out. Do you guys know who the original co-host with Jenna was that was instrumental in finding and coming up with the podcast? He made the music, helped out with the art piece, right? Yeah, the graphic.
Are those supposed to be hints?
Ooh, no.
I don't have a hint to you.
His hint, the hint for him would be he used to lead behind the scenes tours.
Oh.
I think he was still here. Timing might have been.
Yeah,
I think I know the answer. I don't know his last name though.
That's okay.
I don't know it.
Do you want to guess?
Sam?
Yeah.
Sam Cornow, yeah. Perfect.
Sam was a great co-host. He, I think, has done improv in his personal life and is just a big personality, and he was always fun. But I'm very thankful to have Mark joining me.
No, we got to shout out Sam. Like, I kind of modeled myself off of Sam. I was like, how can I live up to his image? I've tried my best, but you know, he came up with some good trivia.
Yeah.
I've tried to live up to his trivia, but he was good. Shout out to Sam. All right, next question we've got here. So Jenna from the reptile team, not not this Jenna, Jenna from Reptile, came and talked to us all about Galapagos tortoises, and she taught us a lot of incredible facts about them. My favorite fact that we learned about them was how long can a Galapagos tortoise survive without food or water? They're able to store fat in their within their shells. So, like, people think they have just water in there. It's not water, it's fat, but they're able to store a lot of food and water. So, do you guys have a guess for how long they can go?
30 days, maybe.
Okay.
30
Yeah, I'll
days.
go with that.
30 days? It's actually longer than that. I think 30 days is incredible.
Yeah.
It's actually longer than 30 days.
It'll blow your mind.
About a year. Approximately 1 year, yeah. Insanity. They go almost a year without food or water. Incredible stuff. So next up, Brian Jorg, he came on and talked to us about one of our zoo's off-site facilities where they do a lot of habitat restoration work, and they also locally grow food here that we feed out to some of our animals at the zoo. Do you know what the name of this off-site facility is that Brian Jorg manages?
Mass Farm, is that it?
That is one of them, but
have
this
two
is not
farms.
Brian Jorg's.
Oh, it's not his.
We have two.
The Boyer Farm?
Boyer, yeah, you got it.
So a
Yeah.
little clarification, Mass Farm is an off-site property that we have more animal, like we have an
Cheetah
off-site
breeding
cheetah
program.
breeding is the
Yeah.
main reason it's there, but it does have holding spaces and areas that are not open to the public with animals. But Boyer property, you can go as a public, or I'm not talking well, but as a visitor, you can go on certain days and buy native plants because they're growing plants there. They're doing wetland restoration and amazing things out there that they have a lot to come to, and it's really sounding awesome.
Yeah, for sure. If you've never been out, it is a fun place to visit. They do have particular times, I know, when it is available to visit from the public. So really cool area to go see. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So next up, Nair, who's a recent high school graduate, he came on our show to talk to us about his time while he attended high school here at the zoo. Do you guys know the name of this very, very unique high school that's located on zoo grounds?
I don't.
I do. It's Zoo Academy.
Zoo Academy, you got it. Yeah. Such a unique program here that we have at Cincinnati Zoo. Like high schoolers from Hughes High School or local high school can actually opt into attending here.
From anywhere can come now.
Oh, from anywhere
Yeah, I
now.
think that's a new thing.
Okay.
At least throughout Ohio, juniors and seniors
Okay.
can join the Zoo Academy.
Yeah, incredible. And they do labs throughout the zoo. Like Nair was our student who worked with us for a full year, kind of learning a little bit about what we do and a little bit about conservation. And fantastic kid. We loved having him on.
Yeah, they help us get work done, and they learn about what it's like to be a zookeeper and what it takes, and it can help them recognize whether or not they would want to be a zookeeper. Some are like, I don't think so. I don't think it's for me. And others are like, this is definitely what I want to do.
Definitely. Shout out to Nair. Great kid. All right, next up, we have our last question for you. You all have done incredible so far. So this is a little personal question about Jenna. Jenna feels very, very strongly about this topic. What is Jenna's favorite season, her favorite time of year in the tri-state area? She's very passionate about
It's a very
this one.
important question.
I feel like it's a trick question.
Yeah.
Is it summer, winter, fall, or spring?
Yeah. Summer, winter, fall, spring.
I'll say fall.
My guess was probably going to be fall too.
Oh, you're just giving off fall vibes.
Did
just
you-
give off fall vibes.
Did you guess fall because it's the best to you as well? Is it your favorite?
I personally like fall a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Or you just guessing it?
It's 3-on-1 here because you know I'm not a fan of fall. It's 3-on-1.
It's his least favorite. Who
Your
said
least
fall is her
Yeah, I
least
know it's
favorite?
my hottest take. I love the spring. I think the spring is just full of like warmth and hope, and there's zoo babies, and there's always so much excitement
Oh,
in the
I
spring.
honestly thought it was summer. I should know this. We've
I
talked
love the
about
summer
it
too.
so
I love the
much.
summer too. It's tight 1 and 2 between
Okay.
spring and summer, but fall's always sad to me because I'm like, the summer's over, man. Like, we're getting ready to get the cold weather. Yeah, I'm always sad in the fall, but
Oh, well, thank you.
not to yuck your yum.
Oh, no,
I know you love
I yell
fall,
at you
so-
about liking summer, so it's fine. Okay, so yuck your yum. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. We wanted to know, so we end every episode with a what can I do? So we've done 100 episodes now. It's getting harder and harder to come up with things that people can do in their own houses, in their own homes, that doesn't cost a lot of money, but helps them be better stewards of the earth. So it really, common example would be recycling, turning the lights off when you leave your house. We've done some really wild ones. And do you guys we want to know if you do anything at home that you're proud of or you would like to suggest that people may not know about for sustainability efforts?
I mean, we use organic fertilizer in our lawn.
Great. Yeah, that's a good one. We've talked about how fertilizer and like just different pesticides or weed killers are not necessarily the best way to go. So that's a good one.
Recently in my house, we've gotten away from paper towels. So we have reusable paper towels now that you just, we've got a trash can in our kitchen that, once you're done, you throw it in the trash can and then you throw those in the wash when it's time to clean them.
I have those too. That was one of my What Can
Great
I Do's a
idea.
long time ago, and it's always good to remind people of things that we talked about so long ago. That one's so easy, and like it saves you money in the long run.
Oh, I
so
agree.
yeah.
One less thing off the grocery list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's awesome. Do you guys have anything that's happening at the zoo that you would want to hear more about? So for future episodes, do you have any ideas that you would want to learn about? Any habitats, anything going on?
Just zoo babies.
Zoo babies.
Zoo
Okay.
babies.
What
Oh,
they're doing, yeah.
Noted.
in
We'll
the
keep
spring
up
we
on
can
that.
do a
Yeah,
whole
we'll
zoo
keep up
babies
on that.
episode. Yeah.
I always like to hear about horticulture. I
Okay.
mean, they just do such a great job here, so hearing more about their kind of day-to-day and all the good stuff they're working on.
Yes, that's we can add that team to our list as well. So we've done a few episodes with them, but I'm losing all of my words towards the end of this episode. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us.
thank
We
you
really
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. All right, this has been such a fun episode. Having live audience here, having guests come on, and being able to talk to the public a little bit about their favorite episodes, their favorite things out Cincinnati Zoo. It's been a ton of fun.
I know, I've had a lot of fun. Now I kind of want to do more of these where we get to ask the public to join us. And next time we could just ask them random questions. Wouldn't have to be episode based.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun revisiting our old episodes and talking about all of the things that I kind of forget, honestly. But there's so much awesome things going on here. Again, I'm losing my words here at the end of the episode, but this is how it really goes all the time. We're in the public now with an audience. Anyways, I think I just have one more thing to end the episode with.
Yeah, I'll say, what do you have for us, Jenna?
Our What Can I Do?
What can I do?
So something I just read about that I didn't know that's super simple and makes sense this time of year is to not deadhead your flowers, which is something I've, considered doing because I want to collect the seeds. So I planted a bunch of zinnias or zinnias, and everyone says it differently. And I've been cutting off the dead heads so I could keep the seeds. But I just read that they're really important for birds coming through to eat the seeds themselves.
Yeah.
So also not cutting the plants down totally helps because a lot of insects will find their way into either the stem or underneath the leaves and spend their winter or overwinter in those plants. So if you're willing to leave the seeds out for the birds and your dead plants essentially out for the critters, it's similar to like leaving the leaves, which is always a good one this time of year. You do not need to rake up organic leaves and put them in a plastic bag. That's not necessary. You can help the animals have somewhere to hide and stay warm throughout the winter. So I guess my what can I do for today is don't deadhead your flowers, or at least not all of them.
Yeah, that's a great one though, because that's something that I had never even really thought about, is the fact that like this is an important food source for animals that are moving through the area this time of year, right? And winter's coming, a lot of these animals are migrating, or if they're not migrating, they're trying to build up some fat storage for the winter. So they need all the food they can get this time of year. And that's something that I would have never thought of until you sent that my way. I appreciate you sharing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do it. So it's more aesthetically pleasing, right? To get rid of any dead plant matter around your house. But if you're willing to leave it out, it's great for nature.
Yeah, definitely. And it's less work for you. It's a win-win.
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, same with leaving your leaves. Less work. Oh my gosh, 100 episodes.
Yeah, 100 episodes. Hard to believe it's been that long. But shout out to Jenna, and we shouted him out earlier. Shout out to Sam as well for getting this thing rolling 4 years ago now.
Yes.
It's hard to believe it's been that long.
And Angela and Pat, who have helped us, they do all of the behind-the-scenes work that is probably a lot more than anyone knows or recognizes. So
definitely, and especially on a day like today, they're doing crowd control. Pat's got all the microphones set up. They're setting up tents out here. I mean, shout out Pat and Angela. They do incredible work for us.
Yes, so thank you all for listening. If you do have any ideas for what can I do, is we're running out of ideas that are simple enough that the general person can do. So if you have them, you can always reply on our Instagram story when we share our episodes every Wednesday or every other Wednesday, and let us know if you have anything you'd like to hear us talk about.
Definitely. And shout out to everyone who's listened to any episodes, even just a single episode of our 100 episodes. And a special shout out to all of our guests that were here today live with us. That was a lot of fun having them here.
To put themselves out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Definitely.
listening, everyone.
All right, until episode 101, take care.